From Skunkworks, and you're watching Fúria.
There was a kind of improvement in the band. The band improved a lot in this album.
Well, we made our own record, you know. I mean, and up till then, you know, when we played Brazil last time, we were still playing material that somebody else wrote. I mean, you know, okay, yeah, I was the singer, and so I wrote a lot of it, but you know, Roy and the Tribe of Gypsies, we were still playing kind of their material.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a big difference when you're a band and you've got your own material and you've all been through the experience of making a record together. It's kind of, the record is the glue that creates the style, you know, and this record really has a style and a sound all of its own.
How was in the studio, like the relationship among the band?
Well, they stay up later than I do. You know. Yeah.
Are you that kind of guy that just goes during your parts, when you are about to sing, or you like watching, recording the drums and then the bass and the whole process? Do you like?
Well, I mean, I like watching stuff happen. But sometimes, I mean, like when Al was playing guitar, you know, I mean, I kind of leave most of the time because he doesn't want me like looking over his shoulder going, what are you doing? I mean, it doesn't make any difference. I mean, I can't play guitar anything like as good as him. I haven't got a clue what he's doing, you know. So just let him get on with it, you know, and come back and listen to it later when it sounds cool. And the same thing with the vocals, you know. Yeah, I mean, on the drums, everybody's in on the drums because that's the basic beginning of everything, you know. But on the drums, you know, I mean, we could have killed him. I mean, 2 weeks we spent doing backing tracks, and this is the kind of band it is, right? For starters, we were living in one big place up in the Midlands, so we were all living there together. You know, it's a Pope a Catholic, you know what I mean? I mean, are we looking forward to the tour? Yeah. Yeah.
I think that you are very excited with this album, more than last time that I interviewed you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The best work, at least
I think it's the best thing I've ever sung on. And all, you know, big respect to Iron Maiden and to Number of the Beast and Peace of Mind and those albums, great records.
Sounds
true. Yeah, Samsung, like, you know, Shock Tactics is a cool record as well. But, I don't know, this record and this band and everything is like combination of all the things that I always wanted.
And was it natural, the way to get to this album, do you think? Or you had to think, oh, let's do something different, or it just happened?
It just happened, actually. It really did just happen. Because, I mean, I really had given up on any idea of having too much of a plan, you know, because for most of my life as a musician, I've had a really kind of strong manager, and everything I've done has been planned. You know, with Iron Maiden, everything we did was planned. It was like, you will do this, you will do this, you will do this.
On stage too?
No, not on stage. No, I'm talking about like, you'd get given a sheet of paper with your life for the next 2 years. Here, this is what you're doing for the next 2 years. You will do this. You will write, then you will rehearse, then you will make the album, then you will go to promotion, and then you will do this and do this and do this. And I'm like, wow, okay, cool.
You get tired before.
Yeah, and this is completely different. You know, it's kind of it's led entirely by music, by just the music. I'm sure if we'd have done an album that sucked, nothing would have happened. And we've made a really cool record, and now just like everything is happening, and it's starting to happen all at once. You know, like the Americans want us because the radio's going crazy on the album in America, and you know, and sort of, you know, we want in South America now, and I don't know what's going to happen next, but it's a great time, you know, and I don't want to get in the situation again where somebody sits down and plans my life for the next 2 years, you know. I want to plan our own lives.
Is it possible, do you think, for a musician to plan your own life now? Do you think it's possible? Or?
Well, all I like the idea of being able to do is just, you know, if we need to take a break, you know, for some reason, just say, you know, hey, we want to take a break and go and rehearse. We want to write some tunes. You know, just things that musicians do. Instead of, you know, we don't have a big machine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's the four of us. We don't have a tour manager.
Don't you?
No, we don't need one.
Don't you?
You know, I mean, what for? I mean, we can all eat. You know, we can all order room service.
What about the crew?
The crew, well, if they get lost, it's tough. You know, I mean, we only have 3 crew. And we have a sound guy, and we have 2 backline guys. You know, if we're touring, we have like a monitor guy and a light guy, but that's 5. That's absolutely it. You know, so we keep everything real small, keep it really like tight, and that way nobody can put a gun to our head and say, you have to tour for the next 10 years because of the wages bill. You know, and this is just complete bullshit. It's got nothing to do with music.
During Iron Maiden and Samson, never had like the support of radios. And what about now? Do you think, you told me in America they are crazy about our music?
It's going really well in
radio.
America, yeah.
What do you think? Which element is this that puts you on the radio?
I think some of it is actually to do with just being kind of. Well, you just got to play. I mean, in America right now, 2 years ago, this record wouldn't have had a chance in America because it was very kind of politically loaded against rock music. But now with Jack producing it and with the sound of the record and everything else, people look at it and go, wow, this is a rock band, but this sounds like a new kind of a rock band, you know, a new kind of a heavy metal band. So they're interested in it. In America, they love stuff that's new, and they love classic stuff like Zeppelin, but above all, they want shit that's new. They want fresh stuff, you know. If you do the same thing 2 or 3 times in America, you know, you're dead. They're like, oh, next, you know, next thing.
To ask you about that. As a next singer of Iron Maiden, did you get things much easier, do you think, or it's almost the same? Or here's Bruce Dickinson, what do you think about contract, about a record company, about gigs? Do you think it's easier for you in your position nowadays, or it doesn't matter, the past?
Oh no, it's definitely a help in one way. You know, in that, yes, you know, 1 or 2 doors are open, and people know who I am. I mean, most record companies spend, especially major record companies, spend huge amounts of money just trying to get the name of a band so people have heard of it. You know, and so a lot of people have heard of me, you know, even outside of Iron Maiden. People because I did a lot of TV stuff and publicity for the band and shit. Yeah, books, yeah, and sort of strange things, you know. So, yes, in a way it's a help, but in a way you have to also overcome it. Because if people are saying, yes, we want to talk to Bruce because of who he was, that's not good for Skunkworks.
I think it's much more American rock than English rock. Was it like the touch of Jack and Dino? Or?
No,
not at all.
No, not at all. I mean, all the songs is me and Al. So he's from East Kilbride in Scotland, and I live in London. So we haven't had that much of a transatlantic experience, you know. So it's just, I think music is pretty, it's pretty global now, you know, in terms of you listen to stuff from America, from England. It doesn't matter. I mean, you know, Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin goes over to America, it comes back as Soundgarden, we listen to it as Soundgarden, and it comes back as Skunkworks, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter, you know, where you know, where you catch the ball, you know. It's in the middle of the Atlantic or one side or the other, you know.